Hello. It is a NASCAR beer day, good old Coors Light, but there's this. I'm trying to, what do they call that? Manifest, because it has been a hell of a week, yo. Hell of a week. So grab your drink, and I am hoping that talking to you guys will give me a little bit of an attitude adjustment. Hey guys, Chevy Rell here. This is the Chevy Rell Stuff Podcast. If you have not been here before, I talk about knitting and fiber and things. This is the stuff room that we're in. The season has changed for 100% sure. It is dark and dreary and overcast here in Indiana in the United States, and I have my winter lights up and all the things. Daylight savings, where we change our clocks. Do they do that all over the world, or is it just in the United States? You fall back in the fall, so you set your clock an hour back, or you spring forward in the spring, so you basically like gain an hour in the fall and lose an hour in the spring, which Dan says, no, you don't. There's 24 hours in a day. You don't lose any time. But when you get to sleep in an extra hour and you wake up at 9 and it would have been 10, it does trick my brain into thinking I've gained an hour. However, for some reason, I think this fall, like spring always messes with me, but I think this fall has messed with me. I just cannot get straight. I can't do it. And Dan told me it's because as you get older, it's harder to deal with. So, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. Enough chit chat. We are going to start out with a giveaway. Pierre, the Woobles. So on my last episode, I talked about the Woobles. They sent me some kits to try, and I am giving away Pierre the Penguin. I will tell y'all, I don't know if it's just because I talked to them or I looked at their page, but am I the only one that sees them freaking everywhere? I mean, their marketing, and I'm guessing it's because the chick, used to work at Google. She probably has this marketing thing down. I can't get away from them. They are absolutely everywhere. All over my feeds, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Let me say some things before I draw the winner. I know. But I wanted to show you. I kept Fred, as I told you, this is Fred, I'm going to make it for Cole, who's my nephew, for Christmas. I have gotten this far on Fred. So next up is the arms. I was going to just bust him out one evening. That didn't work. The reason that it did not work, I think, is because they give you this little card, which of course now I'm not going to have. Here, I'll show you Pierre's card. They give you a little card, and on the back, there's a QR code and a password. So then when you scan the QR code, it takes you to a place to put the password in, and that's when you get all the videos. Well, I'm sure that there's a way that you can just get the pattern, but I did not dig deep enough to find that. And I was like, well, I want to see what this is all about anyway, so I'm going to follow the videos. I think it's one of the reasons that these are so pricey. I think these are like $30-ish. And that's because, for those who weren't here before, everything is in here. Everything you need. All the yarn, your crochet hook, the eyes, the stuffing, the tapestry needle, the stitch markers. It's all in here. And then when you download it and you watch the videos, stellar. For someone who has never picked up crochet before, for someone like me who knows how to crochet, I wanted to follow along with the video just to see, how it would be for, say, a kid. I don't know if it would be great for a kid without adult supervision. And the only reason that I say that is it's almost explained too well. I feel like there's a lot of words when they didn't have to use that many words. And that's not being, that it is being critical. I was going to say that's not me being critical. It's, how everyone learns different. I feel like somebody who is very detail oriented and wants to soak that all in, like me, I would have absolutely loved that. Loved it when I was learning how to crochet. But if you have a kid that maybe has a little, like they're antsy or doesn't sit still very well, it might be a little drawn out for them. That is a critique. Now, that being said, primo videos. I mean, they do so well at explaining, like I said, almost too well. The videos are in these like little, like these super little pieces. So if you don't get it, you can rewatch it. You can fast forward through them. It's just really cool. And I listened to them because I wanted to know what you guys would hear and like what I was talking about, right? This yarn that is, it looks like this. There is a core in there. Ask me how I know. I was trying to rip it like you do wool yarn. Well, that doesn't work. And then it like went down in the middle. This needs cut. But the reason that it is awesome for beginners is it doesn't split. You're not going to split the plies with your hook. So it's like one less thing for a beginner to fight with. You know what I mean? They even went so far as to show you like tension in the video, which is nice, but at the same time, I wish they would have said this is one of a million different ways you can hold your yarn, and while this one might not work for you, you can look for other ways, but they probably didn't want to throw too much at them. I get it, but it is something I thought of. I think that's all I wanted to say about the kits. I do want to look and see if there is a way that I can download just the pattern. As a quick look, I could not find it. I feel like there has to be some place where you can say, okay, here's your downloadable pattern, right? Because what if you want to make this again? So I'm sure there is, I just haven't found it, and I did not see like a print the pattern here button. It was just the videos. So maybe someone who has made a lot of Woobles in the comments knows where that is, and we'll see. But for right now, let me draw a winner for Mr. Pierre. This will take me a minute. It won't take you a minute, but I have to find this comment generator thing, you know. I don't do many giveaways, so it's like my first time every time. Okay, picking the winner, you had to use Pierre. And I'd love to gift Pierre to my niece. She's almost 10. I think that would be perfect for her. And that is Leanna P3D. So congratulations. You can get a hold of me on my email, which is in the description below at the bottom. You can get a hold of me on Ravelry, or you can get a hold of me on Instagram. I check all of those things. Not very often, but since I'm doing the giveaway, I will check it more. And just give me your name, address, so that I can send it to you. Congratulations. Pierre is going to someone else's house. Okay, FOs. I made a baby sack, and I used Alaskan Yarn Company. This was gifted to me, and it was 100% superwash merino, and it was a thickum. I think it was bulky weight. It was in the Hope Valley Skies colorway, and you guys, butter. This yarn is so nice to work with. Beautiful colorway. I'll put pictures here. I already gave it to its recipient. It is Clinny, my best friend's sister had a baby. Colt Ryan is his name. He's a beautiful baby, absolutely perfect. Uncle Clinny always commissions Aunt Chevis to make something for the babies, and I do not have a picture of him wearing it. The yarn was so nice, so nice. I'm a little bummed that I didn't use it earlier. It was a pleasure to knit. I totally made it up. Let me tell you what I did. I cast on 76 stitches on size 7 needles, and I did like a little bit of a ribbing, and then I just knit, no shaping, and bound it off. Easy peasy. And I used the entire skein. There was 128 yards. So if you need a fast newborn anything, make a kick sack, awesome. Now, I will say I wish I had more than 128 yards. Christy typically has little babies. He was 8, 9. So I wish it would have been bigger.
That's what she said.
Next, I finished my Musselburgh. And I thought it was going to be too big. It's not too big at all. At least I don't think it's too big. I mean, you could do like Michael and John. They like to wear their little scullies. I don't know. What do you call those? Where it's like above their ear. It fits me, but I am going to give it to Cole because Cole needs hats. And the thing about a Musselburgh is it's double lined. I mean, I think everyone knows that at this point, but I don't want to assume because you know what they say about that. So anywho, I love the yarn. Don't remember what it is. Oh, and the Musselburgh is by Ysolda Teague, and it's an $8.20 pattern. You can use any yarn, any needle. You just check your gauge and go. Okay, I have 2, count them 2, pretty big finishes, and one is an, I don't want to say epic fail because that sounds very dramatic and giving it way more weight than I care to, but I had a pretty big fail with it, so stand by. Real quick before I take this sweater off, I wore this to work. This is my Sunset, what I'm wearing. This is my Sunset Highway. I'm not even going to try and remember what the yarn is, but the reason that I wanted to talk about it, you guys. So I just picked it to wear, right? Like I just wore it to work today, whatever. I got a notification from Google Photos. Do y'all use Google Photos? Because I love Google Photos so much. But they made me a memory, so I get on and look at it. It's usually like something super cute with Cole or someplace fun Dan and I've gone, and it puts together like a little album of pictures for you. So I went through my memories, and 7 years ago today, I blocked this. What? 7 years ago? I just thought it was so weird. It's like the universe had me pick this to wear today. Check it out. It's my Voyage by Wool and Pine. Now, from afar, doesn't look bad, right? Something happened up here. There's a few things wrong. One I can fix, one I can't. Do you see this? I cannot, there is not, like there's something bunchy here. I don't know if I didn't decrease correctly. I mean, my stitch count was right, so I don't know. But here, look. Oh, shoot. Tie-dye, tie-dye. I have blocked this, if you remember, 3 different times and always use a color catcher. And this one, you know how like they say to let it soak for 15 minutes or whatever? Well, this one, let this be a lesson to you. Why is there an ambulance here? Babe? Okay, I'm going to try and keep recording through this. I think it's probably Grandma Gibson. You guys, we just finished the last season of Young Sheldon last night. And you know, like, spoiler alert, the last 2 episodes totally suck. And I bawled through the entire thing.
Well, they aren't sprinting in, so...
I don't know. I'm going to keep going so we're not late.
All right, we'll holler at you if what happens.
Well, I will. Okay. It's been a bad week, y'all, from a mental health. Anywho, this happened, I think, because I fell asleep. And this soaked overnight. I think that if I just would have let it soak for the 15 minutes, it would have been fine. So now I have to redo it, which isn't horrible because, and I can't remember now what bind up, because on the last episode I talked about how bad I hated a tubular bind off, and that I was going to use Oh, I forget which one I used. There isn't a lot of give. So not my favorite. There were a couple of you in the comments that suggested other bind offs. So when I rip this out, I will try that. But I was so over it. The colors aren't as vibrant, I feel like, because it's soaked in, it's soaked in stuff, even though that does look a little tie-dye, which part of me wants to say I like. Lesson learned, and lesson learned for you. Don't let these things soak overnight. It's going to be in hibernation. I don't want to do it. It's going to sit. Now, the steeking went great. This is what the inside looks like. The pickup and all that stuff. That is $8.75 pattern. This was my advent calendar from Skein Cocaine, her Christmas David Bowie last year. I absolutely love the yarn, love it. It is, the squish factor is amazing. It knit up beautifully. These are all my own issues. So learn from my mistakes. Don't let it soak as long as I did. Can you guess what my next FO is? It's pretty damn epic. What? Look at it. Isn't it marvelous? I love it. I love it. Now, it is very big. It is a blanket, right? But I love it. Let me just tell you about it. On the seaming, on the shoulder, there's a booger there. I don't know what I did. Look, I know you're not supposed to point out all the bad shit, but we're all friends here. Let me just sit down. It called for a 3-needle bind off on the inside because this ridge is supposed to help it sit on your shoulders. I don't think that'll be a problem. I didn't do that noise. I did a single crochet bind off. That's how I did that. These eyelets, some of them are missing where I just forgot to put an eyelet in, which I love, right? In the pattern, it calls to seam, because this is seed stitch here, and it calls, I think, to seam it flat, or a lot of other people seamed it flat. I did not. I did this. So I just laid them, I don't know if I can show this well. I laid them like this, and then you can't even see it. I just did a running stitch all the way up because I like this, whatever this seam's called. And then here's why I think it's a little big. I would definitely, and not big lengthwise, I'm fine lengthwise. I wish it was just a little, there's too much here because I was thinking, because I was thinking it would be cute to cinch it with a belt, but I'm worried there's too much, look, it's too bunchy. So I don't think that I don't think I'll do that, but I'll totally wear it like this. And I love it. I mean, it took for flippin' ever, but those are two huge FOs, even though the one sucks. So, ta-da! This was my advent calendar, my spooky season advent calendar from Lambstrings. Been a few years ago now. This has been on the needles for a hot minute. And this is the Yarmalada. It's a $10 pattern. I wanted to use all of mine. The pattern does not call to go this long, but I wanted to use all of my yarn, and it was a 30-day advent because it was Halloween. So there were a lot of colors. Next, whips. A couple whips I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to show. My Gudrunsocks. I finally got back from Clinny. I left them in his vehicle in Chicago. And when he came home I'll just show them to you. When he came home to see the baby, he gave them back. And I am so close. You guys, I have one done. and I just have the foot and the toe. I love this pattern. I cannot wait to wear these socks. I just have been finishing these things, and I just got them back. Hopefully these will be finished the next time you see them. Link for the pattern in the description below. Family just showed up. The other thing that I'm not going to show is my spinning, my epic spin. I have been spinning the little bobbles here and there. I'll show it, or you can watch it on an old episode, but I'll show it in the future. That spin is going to be freaking amazing, but I'm going slow and I'm just enjoying it. I spin like a little Hey babe, will you bring me one?
What?
One of my little fiber bobbles out of my bag by my spinning wheel. Dan's gonna go get one of my little bobbles, my little fiber nuggets, so that I can show you. But I'm just enjoying the spin and I'm going slow. It takes me, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes to spin one little nugget or one little nest of fiber. And, oh, thanks. I have this many left, so not a lot, but that's actually a smaller one. So I'm just spinning these little nuggets, and I spin one at a time. And the main reason that I'm doing that is because I think I mentioned on the last episode, I hurt myself because I was spinning for too long without standing up. So how I've been doing it is I will spin one little nugget and then I'll start working on something else. So that is still in the works, but it looks the same as it did the last time. Okay, my next whip is in my Labyrinth bag. This is my Labyrinth throw by Kelcey Garner. And this is Christmas Advent as well from a couple years ago. It was a Labyrinth themed, hence it being in here. And I have shown all the squares before. I'm not gonna keep showing them. I show them every once in a while just so you can see, but I am this far. I'm one repeat away from switching. So one repeat away from being half done with this. This is called Royal Quilting. It's fun, but it's slow because you kind of like double back. I like it a lot. And then see how the pink's in the background and the purple is in the foreground. When I switch, you switch those colors. So that's a slow and steady guy. I still have a few squares to go. That will also be an epic, that'll be an epic finish. I'm excited for that. My next whip is a new cast on. It is in my Piddleloop bag, which I use so much. I love it because the ribbon's here and I can knit and walk. I forget where I was. Oh, I stood in line voting.
We won't talk about it.
I knit the entire time I was in line voting and listening to my book. This is a new to you cast on. This is Mineville Wool Company yarn. It was Deep Stash. The color is not kind of right there. It's gray with little blips of like an aquamarine color. You can kind of see it in there. I have this much left in this ball, and then I'll start this one, which it's a little lighter, but this is for Dan's uncle. It is a photographer hat. This is Johnny Bo's. If you watch Aquila, a Lefty Knitter, this is Johnny Bo's favorite hat. And you knit this huge ribbing, and then you, sorry, I'm distracted because the ambulance and all the neighbors coming down rubbernecking, and he's staring at me as I'm doing this. I feel like a fish in a bowl. Anywho, you knit for 10 inches. So I still have a little bit to go, a couple inches maybe. Then you start the decreases. But it's for Dan's uncle who has a big head, but it's real stretchy. I'm hoping that it fits. In the picture, she's wearing it like this, but John and Michael from Piece for Piece wear their little ear. Does that have a word? Is it a scully? I don't know what they're called. What little fisherman where it's above your ears? A short hat. Denny is a photographer. I thought it would be perfect to make him a photographer hat. So that will be done the next time you see it. He'll probably have already gotten it by the next time I record, and I will have to insert a picture of him wearing it. Last whip, you guys. Epic, epic, epic. I am loving it so much. I am doing this with Aquila and Tammy from Cinematic Skeins. So Aquila, a lefty knitter, Tammy from Cinematic Skeins. We're all making them. I'm obsessed. Okay, we got a new printer and it does not print in color. So it is the HexaGranny Cardigan by Lipsy. Tony, is it Lipsy? Oh, shoot, her last name isn't on here. Hold on. I want to say Tony Lipsy, and I want to make sure that's right. Just a minute. Okay, so on Ravelry, it's called the HexaGranny Cardigan. But she has a YouTube video, and I think it's called the Hexy Cardi on there. They'll both be linked. But it's by, yes, Tony Lipsy. And she has a YouTube video where she goes through the whole thing. It's awesome. She tells you like all the different weights, and she explains how to do your gauge swatches and how you block them to get, you know, the kind of drape you want, yada yada. Well, I of course broke the rules because she said that you really, for your first one, should not go below a worsted. And I'm doing a sport, but I figure I've been doing this long enough that I'm okay with breaking the rules.
I like to live dangerously.
So Natalie from Natalie's Closet was in town and went to Simply Socks for the first time, and I met her there. Simply Socks is a yarn store here in Fort Wayne. It is epic. They have something like 17 tons of yarn. It's amazing. And I am not a huge yarn shopper. I know that that seems so silly, but like this is my stash and I have 3 cubes over here and this overwhelms me a little bit. It's not that I don't like to buy yarn. It's that I have so much yarn specifically slotted for certain patterns that I don't have time to get to. I feel dumb like buying more yarn. Not dumb, but it's like a monkey on my back, you know? Like, why am I buying more yarn? I need to knit with or crochet with what I have. But you can't go to a yarn shop and not buy anything. And I have been wanting some Noro. And they have Noro there. And I looked at their Noro and that's what I got. So I got 2 balls. And these are balls. Look at them. This colorway is so cool. So this is Noro. It is silk. Hold on. Of course, the tag is not right here. I will tell you, Noro is salty. It is not an economically priced yarn. But I'm going to say it's worth it for what you're getting. I am very much enjoying it. It's a single ply yarn. This is the Yukata, and one ball, which I have used. It's pretty hollow, but that's obviously the size. It's a little yarn baby. It has close to 800 yards. It's 720 meters, and I think that's like 780 some yards. I could be wrong on the math, but it's a lot. So I got 2 balls. I thought it was a fingering weight, but I looked it up on Ravelry and it says it's a sport. Because as I was crocheting with it, I was like, this does seem thicker than fingering. And when you block it, totally different yarn. So the ambulance is still at my neighbor's house. I love them. They are so sweet. And every neighbor is all of a sudden going for a walk around our cul-de-sac. Nobody comes down here ever. Anyway, here is my swatch. And I used the biggest needle that the label set or hook that the label recommended, and that is a G hook. This is a furl hook. I love it. I think it's called the Odyssey, but I could be wrong. This is blocked, completely changes the yarn. Quill went to the alpaca something. I forget where it is. She went to an alpaca fiber festival. She'll talk about it on her episode. There was a gal wearing one and she's like, hey, can I ask you about this? And we had just started. And one of the chick's recommendations, I think she'd made more than one, and one of her recommendations is to do it in tandem, the squares. So it's kind of like when you knit one sock and don't want to knit another one, she said. So I am doing them, we all did them in tandem. It's a hexagon, right? Hexy, which is why it looks weird. But then you fold it, and it's like this. So then you crochet until you get to your arm depth. Now, I want mine to be big and I'm not putting sleeves on it. I want like kimono style sleeves. I did 9 inches because I thought that was big, and it blocks out quite a bit. But I think I'm gonna go bigger. I just put progress keepers on there, or stitch markers. Oh, see, I don't know. I don't want it like way up in my armpit. I want it to be, but look, when it blocks, I think I am going to keep it. I'm going to keep it here. Maybe one more row. Oh my gosh, I'm so indecisive. Maybe one more row. I'll crochet one more row and call it. So then actually that would be like cool to use cotton yarn. Oh, I didn't say the makeup of this yukata. It is 50% silk, 25% wool, 25% polyamide, which is why it blocks the way it does. It's super soft, it's drapey. That would be cool for like a summer, like a cotton or linen, and you could do, not that I like those peekaboo, I'm not really a fan of the peekaboo things, but that would be kind of cool. Anyway, that's where I'm at on that. Very potato chippy. Love it so far. So far so good. Highly recommend. You crochet the 2 squares and this is all on her video. Oh, it is a $9.50 pattern, but you can go to her website and get a PDF for free. I did not read that part until after I bought the pattern, but I'm not mad because I love that I'm supporting her because it's an awesome pattern. Like, I'm having so much fun with it so far. So support your local artists. If you strap the cash, you can get it for free on her website. Plus she does the whole thing on her video as well. As far as the construction goes, you knit those 2 squares, then you put like a back panel to make your back wide enough. And then you do something else. I don't know. I'll see when I get there. But that is my last whip. I have been having so much fun with it. That's it. I'm so excited to have those 2. Ooh, I'm shaking the table. I'm so excited to have those 2 big guys off my needles. And I think my plan is to do some quick knits. I want to do some crocheted squares for my blanket. I'm just going to do some fast stuff before I cast on another big, because I want to do that witching hour. And there's a Suzanne Somers pattern I want to do. And like, yeah, I have stuff. Okay, I have no enabling, but I have happy mail. When Natalie from Natalie's Closet came into town, we had dinner. We hooked up again. And I told her that I wanted one of her little stingray. Look how cute. It needs a name. I'm going to have Cole name him. Natalie is doing shows right now. She's trying to get her website up and running. I mean, darling. And he lives, see my knit heart up there? He lives up there. I nabbed him to show you guys. So next, y'all know Rhinebeck happened, right? Rhinebeck happened. I didn't go. It was fun to see all of everyone's things. And Carol, who has the Swatch This Space podcast, she came down from Canada, met up with a friend in the St. Louis area, and then they drove to Rhinebeck. Well, they did a little drive-by of Fort Wayne, and we got to have coffee, and she brought me things because she's so sweet. Of course, she spoiled me. She got me this t-shirt, which I think I'm going to wear to my mother-in-law's tonight. She got me this book, which when I'm finished reading it, my mother-in-law wants to read it. She got me this bag. I mean, I know that we have our emotional support chickens, But have you ever just gone through your stash when you're sad? Just rearrange your yarn. It's almost like you're shopping in a store. It's so happy. So emotional support yarn stash. And whatever this is, it's woven. Do you see that? The fabric is like really cool. And then to go in the book, whoops, that's the back of it, this really cool leather bookmark. So I'm gonna put that in here. And she also got me this super, super yummy lotion. And then she pulled up another bag and was like, this is for you and Cole. It's a monster without a face. And then she gave me these 2 books. Look how cute. Look how cute they are. So she said, and look, she even has monsters marked that she wanted to make. She said it hurt her hands to crochet that tiny. And I'll tell you, like it does. Your hands cramp up. But all I have to do is put a face on this. And Cole and I are going to pick a face together. We've not done it yet. And then I let Cole pick his monsters. So he can go through here and pick monsters. And I mean, they are so stinking cute. Thank you, Carol. I hope you had a blast at Rhinebeck. I was keeping my eye out for her in everyone's Rhinebeck videos. I didn't see you in the background, though. You must have been hiding really good. And then my very last Happy Mail, which I don't know that I can call it Happy Mail, but Mama Jean is my stepmom. For those of you who don't know her, we all love her. She's a quilter, and she does a lot of embroidery. She also has a lot of crafty friends. The neighbor lady who has lived in that same house my entire life, like I know her. Well, Fran had a friend named Sue, and Sue passed away. I did not know Sue. I think Mama Jean knew of Sue, but they weren't like friends. And Fran was the one who was going through her stuff. And she got a hold of Mama Jean and said, do you know anyone who would be interested in this? And Mama Jean said, I bet Chevis would. I have no idea what it is or how much is here, but it's a lot. The only thing that the tags say, sorry for the crinkling, like this one says, oh well, this one says 3.82 hashtag, which is that pound, I think, of PW gray, and then 7 pounds of W&C gray blend roving, which I asked my friend Tara, who's really good at this stuff, and she thinks that's white and chocolate blended. So this is a gray and white and chocolate blend, we think. And then this one says 6 pounds mixed white and chocolate, or W&C, I'm just assuming that's white and chocolate, rewash roving. So, thank you, Sue. It's definitely wool, no idea what kind. And my plan for it loosely right now, I should spin up a little sample of it just to see like how it spins up, which I will eventually. I need to wait for my other spin to get off the wheel. Plan with that, I think, is to spin it fat, like a bulky or chunky, like a ropey yarn kind of, and then make like a color work. I kind of had like a Big Lebowski sweater-ish in mind. Like, I know it's not a huge contrast, but something where both colors can be in it, because I also have this white merino. So it would be like gray, chocolate, and white. Okay, they're not taking the neighbor, so that's good. So I'm thinking it will be gray, chocolate, and white something, and just like a big coat style, you know, because you're not going to want it up against your skin. I can tell you, I can tell that. Like it'll be scratchy. But I think it'll be an awesome coat. Gosh, I could felt slippers. There's all sorts of stuff. There's so much of it. So that's it. That's all. I hope everyone has a good turkey day. I definitely want this up before Thanksgiving. So gobble gobble. And, you know, the ambulance is leaving. And on that note, have a good evening. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And just remember, when somebody tells you to smile, this could be your reply. Toodles.